I remember making the change and stopping Minecraft, and for about 6 months, my channel like bled subscribers.
Wow,
like
just
600,000 subscribers I lost at a time where I didn't have that many. Maybe I had like 2 million or something like that, but
that's a big loss.
yeah. And I remember thinking constantly, why was I making that decision?
I'm Louis Cole. Welcome to the Recharged podcast. In this series, I invite fellow content creators and artists to explore exciting ways to make a difference in the world. I take my guests to visit local social good projects in my self-converted electric 1973 Volkswagen van. We have real and raw conversations about life and hear from social good heroes that we can all be inspired by.
On today's podcast is our guest Borja Vazquez, aka Luzu, a comedian, filmmaker and pioneer in the online gaming community. He's one of the biggest Spanish-speaking YouTubers with a social following of over 23 million and is known for his creative, fun and high-energy gaming videos. He's also shared a lot of his life experiences and self-development on his vlog channel.
So today on the podcast we have Luzu. Welcome.
How is it going?
Welcome to the podcast. Yeah, it's going well. How are you doing? You've had a bit of your life's been turned upside down recently, isn't it?
So I just became a dad.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And yeah, it's been 2 months. It's definitely, it has an adapting curve, but one that slaps you in the face in like a matter of an hour, and you have to get ready, We tend to see people on screens, no matter if it's YouTube, the movies, or news, whatever. And we see them maybe like celebrating a success, and we don't know all the hardship that there is behind that.
Exactly,
you can't see that timeline. You only see it once you're done with it, right? Like once you arrive. In my YouTube career, I feel like the moments of celebration didn't bring me as much as the moments where I did something that I learned from, like a mistake, something. I remember when I started the YouTube, like the gaming channel with Minecraft. That was my thing back in the day. And after a couple of years of doing just Minecraft, I thought, well, I want to branch out. I want to do other things. I want to, I don't want to just do this all the time, right? Like I don't want to upload like meaningless Minecraft videos all the time, even though I have fun. And I made this huge plan to shift my content to like variety in a time. This is before variety also was a thing in gaming. And I changed everything, the way my thumbnails, the look of the channel, the videos, even my attitude. I would be on camera, which I wasn't before as much. And I remember making the change and stopping Minecraft, and for about 6 months, my channel like bled subscribers.
Wow,
like 600,000 subscribers I lost at a time where I didn't have that many. Maybe I had like 2 million or something like that, but
that's a big loss.
Yeah, and I remember thinking constantly, why was I making that decision, right? Like to not bend to the need to like fall back and go back to Minecraft. And every night I would go out and I would have a walk where I would tell myself why I was doing that, and to like just stand still and wait and wait and wait, because I believe that change was needed. And so like it was a lot of like mental work with myself every day. And in the moment where the views were lower and everything was lower, Pokemon Go came out, and I had been waiting for that game for a long time.
I love Pokemon.
Yeah. No one knew when it came out, right? Like before it came out, no one knew that it was gonna be what it was. But the evening that it came out, I grabbed my camera and I went out in my neighborhood and I recorded a little video, just enjoying, without planning anything, just enjoying the game. And I got home and I was like, oh, this is great. I had so much fun. I don't know if people are gonna like it, but whatever, right? I edited it and I uploaded it in the evening, which is not something that I would usually do, but I was like, I'm just gonna put it out to see if people like it.
Yeah.
And I woke up and it had gone viral, and my channel had a growth of 900%. And yeah, and my videos went from having, I don't know, maybe 80,000 views, 90,000 views to like 5 million within 3 days.
Wow.
And that moment taught me so much, not because of the success of of that video in that moment, but because all the time that I was suffering, like all that work that I was doing and trying to like stay on the lane that I chose and all that stuff, like, and now every time I have a hard moment, I always go back to that. Where are you taking me?
Right, so we're come to visit an organisation. So we're going to jump out now and
Yeah.
carry on. It's going to be like more of an interactive video podcast.
Yeah.
Today we're visiting Phil America, an artist, designer and activist who uses installations and sculptures, performance photography, video and fashion to explore relationships with class, gender and race. He hosts a class for students affected by the prison system at Los Angeles High School of the Arts as a part of the POPS organisation. The mission of POPS is to create an inclusive space for youth who have been stigmatized and silenced by their experiences with the carceral system, with a goal to build positive self-identity and understanding fostered by shared experiences, empowering students to achieve their full potential by building a loving community and encouraging self-expression.
So this is Phil from POPS.
Yep.
Right, do you want to explain a bit about what you do, a bit of your kind of the story behind the organisation and stuff, and what we're going to do today?
Yeah, so POPS has been around for like 7 years-ish, a little bit more, and we essentially focus on creative writing and use POPS as a kind of a tool or a conduit to talk about issues around incarceration and around the carceral state. And so all of the students who come are affected by the prison system, and that's why POPS stands for Pain of the Prison System. And so we live in a country where, you know, over 10 million children are affected by directly having a parent or two parents in the prison system or who have been through the prison system. And so,
And the US has like the highest incarceration rate in the world,
by a
right?
lot. You know, we got 4% of the world's population, 25% of the world's prisoners. It's just absolutely ridiculous. More people incarcerated than China, even though China's got, you know, 10 times more people than we do. So we're in a very dire situation around incarceration where we need to take a look at this system and break this system down. And so when you think about incarceration, you often think about the person sitting inside of a cage, and you forget about the kids who are affected directly by it, or the family members. And so if you're, you know, without a father, without a mother, or without any parent, you can imagine what that situation looks like for somebody. So POPS goes into the classrooms, and we create clubs within the schools, and we essentially do creative writing. And so myself and Casey, another teacher, we've kind of created a program within POPS where we're doing, instead of just creating the creative writing stuff, we're actually quite literally creating paintings. And so we've got a couple students here. These two students are former students, and we've had like a lot of people come through and go on to do great things. One of them graduated today from college, so we're celebrating her win, you know. But yeah, that's essentially what we do, is try to create a way for the kids and a space for the kids to talk about the issues that come along with having a parent or parents who are incarcerated.
Yeah, that's amazing. Also, feel free to jump in any questions you got. But we were talking on the way here about like what would the world look like in 20 years if we could dream about seeing a big shift in society. And for me, one of them would be a complete rethink of how the whole system of punishment in the US works, concentrating a lot more on like how can we rehabilitate people, because I feel like once you've served time in the US, it's almost impossible to get back to some kind of normal life. From what I understand, I've seen a few of those documentaries like 13 and stuff, and it's like that word you said of like it is a dire situation.
So I just became a dad 2 months ago, and I've been thinking
Congrats.
I've been thinking a lot about this stuff, about legacy, about who my kid is gonna see when he looks at me, finding what you really are passionate about in life. We're talking about this because of our careers and stuff like that, and how important it is to connect to who you are, and you know, and learn that, and not just do what is, you know, you're supposed to, or what you feel like other people expect of you and stuff like that. So it's great.
Like breaking away from those social expectations.
Yeah.
Really finding what makes you happy, what, you know, what drives you, or what could make a difference for you. And so since you started talking, I've been just thinking about, first of all, how this situation would affect me or my kid if that happened.
Yeah.
It's weird because I can relate to it right now, and I couldn't before, you know.
Right.
But it's really interesting.
Yeah, I think it's easy to forget when you think about people in prison that, like there's probably like 4 or 5 people that have been like, maybe more, like family members that are still out that are like, have been seriously negatively impacted, like heartbroken.
The fact that someone's father, someone's son, someone's partner, people's friend as well.
Going back to your wedding as well, honestly, it was so inspiring seeing that you just had so much fun with it. Like you had like the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Like, did they walk you down the aisle, or they came with the ring or something, right?
Yeah, they took us to the dinner,
Yeah.
like to the reception and stuff like that. I just remember talking with Lana about it, and I am pretty conventional for a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so I knew I wanted some things in the wedding to be conventional, but I also wanted to be, I didn't want it to be another of those days that everything's super formal and super like, I
And
wanted
it's
to
just
have
the same
fun.
as everyone else's wedding.
Yeah,
because
because we talked about that specifically, like everyone's wedding feels like the same wedding in a different place.
Yeah, it does. And there's no like, if you want a traditional wedding, cool. But I loved that you really. There was some traditional parts of it, but it was like I loved that you just had fun as well.
Yeah, and I wanted like the video. I wanted people to go to the wedding and go back home thinking I had so much fun. You know, the video games. We also had like food and things inside.
Games.
Yeah, and we had like, I don't know if you remember this, but we had a girl that would read like your hand or your future.
Oh, yeah.
A magician around, like people doing caricatures. So there was a lot of stuff to not just have to drink and dance, you know, just to do things. And I honestly, I don't know if it's because we've gone into a pandemic after, but I remember that day. It's like so much fun.
It was so much fun.
I would pay all the money that I have in the bank to have that party tomorrow with everyone again. But
have you got any life advice that you'd leave from the conversations we've been having, or things that you think about? Like, what advice would you leave people with?
I think, thousands of things could be said to people about life advice. I think the one that has helped me the most has been give perspective to the problems and the things that you experience. So sometimes we tend to magnify the things that happen in our life at one specific point, and then we grow older and we look back and we think it wasn't that bad, and it helped me achieve this other thing and whatnot. And I think that having that image of us as older people, as a 70-year-old grandpa sitting at home or whatever, looking back into these experiences, like helps a lot to put them in the correct, in the correct place in the line. And I would say, people try to concentrate less on the things that hurt you and try to focus more on the good things that you have in life and the people that surround you. Because it's, at the end of the day, it's the things that matter the most, I think.
Yeah, I love that, bro. Well, thanks for coming in the podcast.
Good luck. Thank you very much for having me, and I hope to see you soon. Hopefully, with news about babies, about things. Another thing.
We'll come and visit when we're back in California with Raya.
Another thing about people with kids is they suddenly want everyone else to have kids too.
Yeah.
So, take care.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow Luzu and Pops. If you enjoyed this video, please go and subscribe to my brand new podcast channel and check out the full-length podcast here. There's lots of amazing guests and exciting episodes coming soon.